They're always shocked. When for the love of money I move.
What is root of all evil?
I'm not entering in front of camera. Start show.
Tega, come. No day.
Beg me, tell me please.
Please now. You know I can't do this without you. You are the yin to my yang on this now.
Yeah, come.
All right. It's time. That time you've been waiting for. This is the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love live station, 17 minutes past 8 a.m. on a money-making Monday morning. Ayokunmi Kekiriakon is my name. And it's that time to take a walk into the locker room, take a look at great sporting action from the weekend. People, it has been a weekend full of a lot of excitement. And we are here to break it all down for you. Talking about we being here. You know how we do. I'm joined by the one and only, ever ready, ever sprightly. Looks like she can box a grizzly bear to the ground. Tega Supreme in the building.
Good morning, everybody. Ayo, you didn't beg me well, but I'm here because of God.
We'll talk about this behind the camera.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Okay, so what happened this weekend? What should we touch on first? Let's talk about LeBron and his son. Like people in 2025, their real issues. LeBron and his son cannot be the issue. Okay, the LeBron Lakers faced the Suns yesterday. They won, but that was a side note. So LeBron is not playing; he's injured. And he comes into the game, and his son is sitting on the last chair. So his son gets up for him, and sits on the floor, and LeBron sits beside him. They took video. It made breaking news. So wait, he was supposed to sit down, let his father be standing, or he was supposed to sit down, let his father be the one sitting on the floor. Now, normally, even as a rookie, when the people that have played come, you move for the people that are playing for the first team, for the starters or for the senior members of the team. You move and you sit on the floor like everybody else if there's no extra chair. So this one is not even his father. So because he calls him LeBron in the locker room, he will now sit down. People don't no
Does he
people
call him
have
LeBron in the locker room?
On court, yes, he can't call him pa. LeBron made the rule that he can't call him pa on court or in the locker room. But when they go home, he's back to being pa. Yeah.
My body's doing me somehow.
It's work ethics. It cannot happen. Even me, as I am like this, people will be calling me auntie at the office. Yes, I'm old school like that. Look at me well. So that was what I was like, people don't have home training. That's all it means. He should sit down, let his father in his nice denim up and down, sit on the floor.
His father, the legend, do.
I don't even know what people are thinking. Anyway, that was number one. Speaking of family members, Mark Marquez and Alex Marquez became the first brothers since in 70-something years to finish 1-2 in MotoGP. It was just nonsense that they were doing. That's both of them left the rest of the people at the back. Alex was now in front. Mark Marquez now Mark Marquez was in front. Alex now curved and overtook him. Mark Marquez was like, do you know I came out before you? And then he now came back and overtook him. And then at the end of the race, both of them were now playing Tampolo. It just didn't make sense. I was like, what is happening in this world today?
Where was everyone else?
They were at the back, hustling to cross the line.
Backbenchers.
The family of aliens have already crossed the finish line. So it was good to see. We don't know how Alex Marquez will do for the rest of the season, but for this weekend, he showed some Marquez talent. It was good to see. So speaking of brothers and sisters, that's what happened this weekend. So brothers and sisters, we're back in the locker room, and we'll be talking about tennis, the WTA. We'll be talking about football. Liverpool went from 3-1. Which kind of life
from,
is it?
From 4-1.
Sorry, from 4-1. I'm the one that's not even counting well. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about those London noisemakers. At the end of the day, if you see the kind of football that I was forced to watch yesterday, it was like food with no salt. Anyway, we will talk about all of that inside the locker room. Before we do any talking, Ayokunmi, tell us, how can we be a part of the show today?
All right, dear brothers and sisters, please join us in the locker room this morning. Send your messages to us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 That is the WhatsApp number. You can also join us on YouTube. Now, that is the place to be. Believe me when I say that. All the great behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways you can join us in the locker room this morning. All right, Tega, let's begin in the world of tennis. Teenager Mira Andriva underlined her growing reputation as the hottest emerging talent on the WTA tour by shocking world number one Arina Sabalenka to win the Indian Wells title. This girl is an alien.
No, she's just doing what her mates used to do at 17.
Alien.
She's not the first.
How many 17 year
This
olds were doing this?
Serena was doing
Who
it.
else?
What's the name of that? The Papova. What's Sharapova? Tega, correct yourself. Maria Sharapova. Um, she before the meldonium became an issue. This is what we're talking about before the Monica Seles before the stabbing.
Mm.
And this is what we're talking about. Steffi before so it used to be teenagers that used to play all these things. So it's later on that Serena now block road for people in Grand Slams. It was a good thing Serena was not going to every tournament.
Because
She now started blocking road in Grand Slams, but yeah, she became a stronghold after that. But usually, but you can't help but she is an amazing talent. And when she remember to get to this the 1,000 Masters now to get to the victory, she beat Elena Rybakina.
mm-hmm,
She beat Iga Swiatek.
mm-hmm.
Then she now went on to beat Sabalenka for good measure. She was like, I will take out the best so that when they are saying this thing, they won't say it's because somebody was injured
You don't say it's luck.
or somebody was absent. She took them out cleanly,
Hi.
neatly. And Sabalenka was the biggest because she has beaten Sabalenka before, but after that, there's always like a mental block whenever she faces Sabalenka. She's not moving enough, or she's overthinking, or she's forcing it. In fact, the last time before this Waters Masters, after playing, she cried because her performance was so poor. Every time she squares up against Sabalenka, after beating her, I don't know what Sabalenka said to her. I don't know if Sabalenka became her friend. She just used to freeze with Sabalenka. And so when she played the first set, she had multiple opportunities. She was broken. She had multiple opportunities to break back. She just couldn't take it. And I was like, freeze, brain freeze. I thought it was going to happen again. But I think after she lost the first set, she came back. She spoke to herself. Second set, she started with a break. Sabalenka broke back. I thought, it's over. But she found an extra gear, and that's the beauty of her game. Is that some people would have one switch, win, and then continue in that trajectory. She has multiple switches she can go. She has multiple levels she can increase to, and it's that is beautiful for us to see. So yes, Mira Andreeva, she's always been talented, but now she's in fantastic form.
Mm.
The thing is, when you're in fantastic form in the WTA, you've put both side target on your back. Oh.
Indeed.
Everybody that wants to play you now will bring all their talent to beat you. So she's done back to back WTA. She's taken out the biggest names. I can guarantee you, the next major tournament, she's going to be the person that everybody will be chasing down.
Most
So
definitely.
can she handle that pressure? Is what will determine.
Mira Andreeva, 17-year-old. What were you doing at 17? I just wonder. All right, from tennis, let's head into the world of Formula One, where Lando Norris and McLaren delivered on their potential with a copybook victory in a demanding Australian Grand Prix in the most difficult of conditions to put their stamp on the start of the new season.
I told you. They said they were telling us since they're like, all this one we are doing, all the data we are collecting, Sunday to not count. True. Sunday didn't count.
We talked about it.
Thunderstorms from nowhere. It's like people seen the Lord. The Lord was just sending thunder to Australia. What is the rain refused to let up? In fact, let me shock you. After it looked like it had dried up, they completed the race. Before they started the ceremony, the rain decided to fall. It was even carrying the advert board away. Stewards were struggling with it.
Everything in Australia is
extreme.
Is extreme.
but we wanted that wet rain, and my goodness, it was chaos. First of all, you know that there are 5 rookies in the F1 this season. Everybody's going younger, and we don't mind that. We like that. You see you see drivers in F2, and you want to see how they'll participate in F1. Fantastic. So there are 5 this season. As they were lining up, the formation lap, race have not started. They've not blown whistle. Okay, they don't blow whistle. The lights have not gone out. As they are just formation lap, the first rookie crashed into the wall. it, it was that wet, but the first rookie crashed into the wall. So, first of all, they had to clear that off.
Was it nerves or the weather? or combination? Collabo.
It's a collabo. It's a
Ah,
collabo of
okay.
the two. So it's the inexperienced, the greenery and all. And I'm sure in F2 he's driven in wet conditions. So it's just sometimes this thing can happen, even to go Formula One drivers. So he crashes into the wall. Um, he walks off. That was Hajan. That's the guy that Lewis Hamilton's father went to console at the end of the day. I don't know what's wrong with their family. They have too much grace to be giving people. But he went to console the guy. Then the race starts. Lap one, another crash. We had to stop the race to restart it again. So now you have to understand why I'm making all these stops. Lando Norris, remember last season, he had a lot of poles, but his biggest problem was starting at pole. He always started poorly. So imagine that he survived the first start and stayed ahead.
Mm.
They now said they are going to restart again. If you see prayer points that this
Fire, fire, fire.
and then he started he took the second start well, but there were crashes all over the place, and unfortunately it made the race interesting. I think we finished with only 14 drivers at the end of the day. No, 15. It made the race interesting, but what it meant for strategy was anywhere Belefi's. And that's what happened to Ferrari, unfortunately, because when it was going to start raining, Ferrari told Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc that the rain was not going to be heavy and it was not going to last long.
Mm.
Lies from the pit of hell.
Error.
Then the rain started, and McLaren were leading 1-2 with Piastri and Lando Norris. They both entered the same puddle. They both veered off. Max Verstappen became first. But because they veered off, Lando Norris had the opportunity to go back into the pit lane, change into intermediate, so he was the first. And he came out quickly. By the time the rain came down, everybody now had to go in. Lando Norris was back in front. So his crash was of no consequence. Ferrari, who after the crash of Lando Norris and Max Verstappen going into the pit, became first and second with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, decided to stay out one extra lap because they said the rain was not going to be heavy. Ah, Lewis was so angry yesterday. I was like, Lewis, welcome to Ferrari, where strategy cost them races. But yeah, at the end of the day, they ended up finishing eighth and 10th. So from a race that they could have been closer to the front, they
Yeah.
ended up finishing
Ugh.
closer to the back. Tough weekend, but it was interesting for the people that are watching. But for people like Lewis and Leclerc and even McLaren that won, they were angry about the PS3 going off, and he ended up finishing ninth. But even with all of that, they were very disappointed. But that was a good rain to happen in Australia.
Most definitely. Ferrari. Anywhere Beleface, as they say, monkey go shoot. Just keep it tuned to the locker room this morning. When we come back in, we're heading into the world of football. If you are a fan of Liverpool, it was a good one for you. But Newcastle fans, if there are any, after 70 years in the wilderness, a trophy finally. Keep it tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, my daddy used to be a Newcastle fan. He had all this. My dad, he had all this Newcastle paraphernalia. I think it's because you know how it is when you go to school somewhere. Somehow that's where you. That's so he had all the Newcastle paraphernalia. Too bad he did. He did. He didn't see them win anything in his lifetime.
So, for all of us like this is the first time we're seeing Newcastle win something.
Yep.
Tottenham.
Newcastle.
Tottenham. See your life?
No, not London. See your life. Yeah, but yeah, my dad used to have a lot of Newcastle stuff. So when I started joining my uncle to shout, "Oh God!" My uncle had the DSTV. Yes, my uncle was the owner of the DSTV. So you decide which camp you will camp.
It's just like, let me bring ball,
Do you
confused.
understand? You'll be the person's best friend. Eh. So my dad used to look at me that this club has no history. Ah, uncle, who cares about history? They have DSTV. You remember when those dishes were very big that they used to do it? And that's when my uncle had DSTV. You now say I should not hate this club.
Before they chase out of the house.
I'm telling you,
Rough.
keep your history. Does your history have DSTV? Anyway, but now his club has won. It's so sad that he's not alive to enjoy it. But yeah, I'm sure Newcastle was crazy yesterday because they're really on Saturdays. My cousin's school there too did his master's there. It's shocking. You know how things can happen from generation to generation. Anyway, my cousin did his master's there, and every Saturday, it's like town will shut down because we are all going Tyneside, and they will like the trick.
Be like pilgrimage for them.
Aye, to a club that's not won in 70 something years.
Well, the Geordies know why they do what they do. You're welcome back into a walk into the locker room. This is Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station on a Monday morning, 32 minutes past 8 a.m. My name is Ayokunmi Kekireko. And of course, Tega Supreme is in with me this morning in the studio. We are doing our thing. And you can join us on YouTube. Okay, no. Yeah, okay, we'll get back into the stories. YouTube Smooth 91 FM Lagos, WhatsApp 0809
Again,
0809 444 Send those messages in. Okay, back into the stories, and we're heading into the world of football. And for all the millions of pounds Newcastle United have invested in an array of talent from around the globe since a Saudi Arabia backed takeover in 2021, it was Dan Burn, born down the road in Blythe, I think, who proved the hero to end decades of hurt on Sunday as they defeated Liverpool 2-1 in the Carabao Cup final.
yeah, but his goal was not the winning goal.
But I mean,
I was wondering
agenda must agenda.
I was wondering why they gave him the man of the match, because when he came up, they now gave it to him. I was like, that's Isak stuff. I was like, either Isak or Gimaresh, one of the two. Even if Gimaresh didn't score,
Local boy.
Did you see what that boy was? That guy has engine, what they call those Belgium engine.
Direct Belgium.
Direct Belgium. Gimaresh was everywhere. Every part of, if you took a DNA sample, he was on every part of the pitch. This one, he couldn't say it wasn't me. It was you. So again, I actually hate this thing where they give awards to goal scorers more than they give to everybody that plays well. I was one of the happiest people when Roger won. I died on top of that hill. Yes, he was the best player that year. It's called the police. I stand there with my 10 toes. And so even with this one, I thought it was Gimaresh or Isak. I just saw them giving it to them, but I was like, okay, maybe they are giving it to local hero. But he's had a great week, getting called up to England now.
Winning a trophy.
Not just a trophy. I'm talking of the individual award.
Oh, okay.
Now getting the individual award, great for him. But Newcastle, my goodness, they were a completely different animal this tournament. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Liverpool didn't really show up. Yes. But Liverpool, and I want to say this, I think Liverpool is beginning to show real evidence of where Arne Slot is. In the sense that we were watching a Liverpool that was just going through the game per game, getting the results. And everybody was like, oh, such a fantastic team. But now when you watch Liverpool, you're like, where is Arne Slot's real strategy? What's his plan? Remember when I told people about Nunes as number 9? He will not always score all the chances, but he will put pressure on the defender.
He will bumble around.
How are you playing against Newcastle? Those Newcastle defenders.
Those giants.
And you put Diogo Jota to do what? Is he going to disappear and appear behind them? How is he going to pass around them? And then Luis Diaz is not in the best of form, so he can run at them, and he did try, but he was working a bit too hard. You needed some size up front. There was no presence, and Newcastle did what they did. They gave them the ball in the middle of the park. If you want to play, Abby, play here. We want to win. And so it was the tactical approach to it. It was the strategy, and Newcastle just outplayed them. Please, all of you that say Liverpool took them for granted, trust me, Liverpool didn't. Liverpool could do nothing. Their strategy was poor, their tactics was poor, and on the day they were bullied by the South Americans in the center of the park. Did you see what Joe Linton was doing? That's how you know that when you want to play Copa America, it's not by dribble.
I remember we talked about this weeks ago. We talked about Joe Linton,
Yes.
Gimaresh, and Tonali. Those three.
That's a cartel.
Yeah, that
That's a cartel. You're going to speak English with them. No, they don't care about your tiki-taka. Play ball. Let's jam body. It's the kind of thing you have to get physical. Yes, you have to get physical. You have to be athletic. On their days, you cannot beat them. When is their day? No. And they knew, they're like, this is the trophy we are looking at.
Mm.
It's not like Premier League that they can plan. If we injure today, we may miss the next 3 games. They're like, this is when we finish this one, we'll collect cup.
I mean,
They,
after the heartbreak 2 years
do you
ago.
understand? They put their back in it. They put their back in it. And Liverpool cowered under that pressure. So congratulations to Newcastle. Fantastic one for Eddie Howe and his boys. But it was a great result for them and for Liverpool. Hey, yeah.
Mm. It was four,
From
later become
yes,
one.
yes. So then before later become one, and even that one. If they lose the Premier League from 12 point gap, they should sack and slot immediately.
Mm. All right, let's head over to Spain, where I'm pretty sure one man is not getting sacked anytime soon. Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres struck in stoppage time as Barcelona came back from 2 goals down to claim a dramatic victory over fellow title hopefuls Atletico Madrid.
Dramatic is the entire word, because Real Madrid was just sitting in their house saying, if Atletico Madrid wins, we are safe. If the two of them draw, we are safe. Now this match 2-0, and it was the way they played it. Atletico Madrid paced themselves. They set up in their block, frustrated Barcelona. Then on a quick counter, they put the ball in the back of the net. We're like, okay, that's first half. Let's see whether Barcelona will come out differently second half. Rinse and repeat. Barcelona came out second half, struggled with Rafinha, with Lamine Yamal, with Lewandowski, with Pedri trying to weave some nice passes. When they finish trying all their try, Atletico Madrid got another quick counter. Went and Solo scored the second goal.
And that was the 70th minute.
No, that was a 60 something minute. That was a 60 something minute first. It was 60, I think it was 68 or 69th minute. Yeah, they will put 72 because of time, but it was 68 or 69th minute. And then after that, I was like, this looks like game over. Even Lamine Yamal was carrying himself. He's a small boy. So even if he's talented, mentally, he's still a young boy.
Mm-hmm.
His head dropped, his shoulder dropped. It was people like Rafinha that were like, hey, let's charge. And then they started the game. Atletico Madrid had gotten comfortable. In fact, they got another chance where they could have scored from, but Solo missed. As soon as Barcelona survived that chance, Inigo Martinez, I'll never forget, he was telling them to pass the ball, they not pass the ball, they now gave the ball to him. I think because he was a defender, nobody marked him. This guy ran from defense all the way to the front. Then people were calling him to put the ball wide. He was like, no, we are going direct now. And he passed the ball to Lewandowski. Lewandowski didn't think about it. It was one control and the ball was in the back of the net. 2-1. They did not even celebrate. They went into the back of the net, collected their ball,
Sharp, sharp.
set it up again,
Oh, yeah.
and started. That's how you know the difference between a team that believes in themselves and a team that is still playing. They did not celebrate. They just did high five and went on. And then they scored the equalizer. And then they scored the third. Now you can talk about deflection, but the truth of the matter is that Lamine Yamal collected ball, dribbled one or two people, then took a shot.
You don't shoot, you don't score.
Yes, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket.
Mm.
He bought a ticket, he won the lottery. And then when it still looked like it was precarious, then Ferran Torres. It was a beautiful, beautiful comeback. So now I can't wait for the second leg of that Copa del Rey, the one that they played 4-4. I can't wait for that second leg.
It's gonna be hard.
So as it is now, Barcelona 4 points clear of Atletico Madrid, tied on the same number of points with Real Madrid, but Barcelona have that game in hand. Remember that match that was postponed when their doctor died.
Right.
So
but for now, we count points on the board. Level. All right. From the Spanish title race to the Italian title race, where Inter Milan moved 3 points clear at the top of the Serie A after beating third placed Atlanta.
Now this was another tough one. This one was tough. And then it was tough on the pitch, and then something happened off the pitch. They had to take a pause. I was like, oh God, this Italian football. But I think after that break, Inter Milan was still sharp. Atalanta weren't. That was when they considered the goal a few minutes after they restarted the match, from a set piece. And then Lautaro Martinez scored another goal. It was offside. Sorry, there was a foul in the build-up. And then he eventually scored the winning goal. But this was tight. And forget that it was 2-0. Atalanta matched Inter Milan stride for stride. Unfortunately, they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. The same way The same way Inter Milan were putting the ball in the back of the net. So this is a big step for Inter Milan when you play against, especially when Napoli earlier on had dropped points against Venezia,
Yeah,
who are 19th.
nil draw, if I
Yes,
remember
nil nil
correctly. Yeah.
draw. Who are 19th on the table. So it gives Inter Milan kind of a little breathing space. They're just showing the rest of the team that you people are ambitious, but we are ambitious and we have talent.
Hmm.
That's all they're saying.
Great combination. Things heating up in Spain and in Italy. What's going on in the Premier League? Talking
Boring.
about the London derby. Mikel Merino scored the only goal of the game as Arsenal beat Chelsea to move 12 points behind Premier League leaders Liverpool. Set piece FC back.
Except, well, it was not their routine set piece. It was a, I would say, I don't know if it was a fortuitous or brilliant header. At the end of the day, it got into the back of the net. But this match was so bad in the sense that I expected, when you're playing in the derby, in a derby, especially a derby with Arsenal versus Chelsea, if
Mm.
it's a regular London rivalry, sometimes you get some boring ones. But when it's Arsenal versus Chelsea, there's a little bit of intensity. I didn't. There was nothing. Not from the bench, not from the pitch. It was just they're playing like they're playing their regular football. For Arsenal, they did try. They created a few chances here and there, but I think the minute Cole Palmer was missing from this game, it took out an extra something. Because Cole Palmer too likes to score against Arsenal. Like there's a joy. Maybe Mikel Arteta annoyed him.
But he's been off in the last
Maybe,
couple of games.
yeah, but maybe, like I said, when it's a derby, off or no off, that's when they wake up. So maybe Mikel Arteta annoyed him in Man City. I don't know. But every time he comes against Arsenal, he tries to do something. There was not one such person trying, apart from Korea, who was trying to put himself on about, and I think gave away a penalty that the officials didn't look at because there was no way that was not a clean penalty. He was claiming that he was falling, but in your falling, you moved your hand towards the ball. Are you serious? What kind of Nollywood movie is that? Um, Odogu Parana, but he got away with it. Ultimately, Arsenal scored the goal with their new found striker, Merino. Yes, Arsenal fans, get used to it. I'm going to tell you now. Mikel Arteta may say, I'm not going to buy a striker. We'll just work on positioning with Merino. The way Arteta is,
Finish.
we finish. That's it. All right. And on that note, let's just touch on where we're going to. Bayern Munich, yeah, dropping points this weekend, and Leverkusen making up a fantastic comeback win this weekend. They won by 4 goals to 3. It won't placate the team um about their loss to Bayern Munich in
In the
the
Champions
Champions
League,
League,
yeah.
but they closed the gap. It's not the gap is not close. 6 points is still a distance, but
Closer than 12, sure.
they narrowed it. Let's call it that,
Mm.
and they narrowed the gap.
Okay.
All right. On that note, let's take your messages.
All right, let's take your messages. Bimbo in VI says Liverpool from quadruple now to only one. If not that, we know the people chasing them are perennial butlers. ABC, Arsenal Bottling Company. The last one could also drop from their grip.
I'm telling you, the reason Liverpool is winning this is because the people chasing them have no consequence.
Mm. Ewa Bonero says, what a dramatic turnaround it was for FC Barcelona last night, coming from behind, being 2 goals down to win against Atletico. Was sensational. Also, big congrats to Newcastle on winning their first major title in 70 years. Nathan Unjoku says, did we deserve to win? No, same as we didn't deserve to qualify for PSG in the UCL. We were poor and we're second to everything. We were outplayed, outclassed, bullied. In fact, we did not turn up. Happy for Newcastle. Salah has lost his Ballon d'Or nomination. Very bad week for us. Adenik Adelaya says, Chai, see my life. At 17, I was reading M&B or something. Lord have
I was
mercy.
writing jam.
I was there as well. Larry from the abroad says 4 out of 6 did not finish his DNFs yesterday were rookies. 4 out of 6 rookies for 2025 were DNF yesterday. F1 are your mate. You know, a Ferrari and bad strategy is like our Senate and misplaced priorities. Wow,
Yay.
wow. Tyre says, I just want to thank Liverpool for helping Newcastle with a trophy after such a long time. From treble, no quadruple, to single Pringle. The jingle, you never walk alone, just tingles. Tayo,
Tayo.
I won't block you again. Chimabi Victor says, congrats to Newcastle for breaking that yoke of 70 years by winning the trophy against Liverpool. While for my darling Arsenal, we dealt with Chelsea last night. You did not deal
You
with
did not
Chelsea.
deal with
Let's just calm
anybody.
down. Please, Tega, do you see Barcelona winning any trophy this season with all this their hard work?
You'll be unfair.
Mm. Really, Imisio Lua from Isolo says, Great one for Newcastle for winning the trophy after, say, 70 years now. 70 years. Slot doesn't know how to motivate his players in big games, how to change the course of the game, especially when things are going south. Mohammed says, Tega, I don't tell you, say Slot was the perfect replacement for Klopp. Then go reach final and lose.
He was
let me
Mohammed as well for him.
let
All
me
right, let's take your messages from YouTube.
Uche Nawokoye says Newcastle did us proud. Liverpool has been poor in their last two have been poor in the last two games. Only that Arsenal may not be able to catch up with them in the league. Will not. Barca and Inter making champion moves. United, nice. El Kadirogba says it was a boring derby, but like I said yesterday,
Now
Nadia
they
Power
are
Rich.
rich.
Chelsea should have stolen a draw and Arsenal should have stolen a win. Two teams without ambitions. And Abiodun Obishoson says Barca's monster mentality under Flick is so amazing. Ferran Torres should have won MVP.
True. I think it's because he came off the bench. And so, all right. On that note, want to thank you all for sending your messages via WhatsApp and streaming on YouTube. Want to thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. What's happening this week? All right. Well, it's
World Cup qualifiers on
yeah, World
Friday.
Cup qualifiers for Friday. So people, if you have money, you can go to Kigali. It's a nice country to go and visit. So you might as well take a vacation while you watch the Super Eagles. So everybody is returning back. We'll be talking about teams and their countries and people that will probably meet in December. Are people saving for December? Morocco is a nice place to be. So save for AFCON in Morocco. All right. On
I'm
that
saving
note,
my life.
yeah, saving your life. On that note, have a great week. We'll be back here on Wednesday with more stories from around the world of sports.
All right. Thank you so much, Tega. Have a great Monday. And thank you for being a part of the locker room as always. Very much appreciated. Keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1 and the Smooth Breakfast.